So today we got some bad news. A few hours ago, EA posted on the Mass Effect website an announcement stating that patch 1.10 will be the end of development for Mass Effect Andromeda. No further patches or story DLC will be coming. Now this leaves us with the obvious dangling plot thread of the Quarian Ark, which they do promise to get into with the comics and novels for the series, but EA's track record for those has been spotty at best. I have to say, this doesn't really come as a surprise for anyone who's been watching Andromeda's aftermath. At this point, we are far beyond the time when they would normally make announcements as far as DLC goes, and EA has been completely silent about the game in their corporate briefings, going so far as to insinuate that the series has been put on ice. Furthermore, BioWare Montreal, the studio responsible for the game, has been closed and all personnel have been folded into EA Motive. Finally, given its troubled development, it's just not really a surprise, and honestly, it's amazing we even got the game that we did. For those of you not in the know, Jason Schreier wrote an amazing article about Andromeda's development for Kotaku, and I'm going to put a link to it in the description. The article is well worth a full read, but the high point is that while Andromeda did have a 5-year development cycle, they initially spent 3.5 years trying to create what would have effectively been No Man's Sky Mass Effect Edition, an attempt to blend procedurally generated worlds with BioWare levels of storytelling. It didn't work. 18 months before release, they went into damage control, trying to take the various pieces that they had and assemble them into something resembling an actual working game that eventually became Andromeda. When you understand the game's development, the reasons for pretty much all of the game's issues become crystal clear, and now they've finally decided to put an end to it all. Again, this doesn't really come as a surprise. I had held out some hope that, who knows, maybe we would get something for the game. But in reality, I had long since given up most of my hope. It's a real pity because I think Mac Walters could have come up with something fantastic with the Quarian Ark. Freed from the development hell that was Andromeda and just setting out to make a great DLC from scratch was something someone like Mac and the team at Montreal could have done. All on their own, Montreal made the Omega DLC for Mass Effect 3, and while not phenomenal, with someone like Mac at the helm, they clearly had the technical prowess to execute whatever he came up with. Other games have been redeemed with an excellent DLC, or multiple excellent DLCs, and with free reins to go nuts with the Quarian Ark, Matt and Montreal could have proven while the base game is rocky, they have the ability to make great Mass Effect experiences. Because the Quarian Ark was chock full of fan-favorite species, the Quarians themselves, the Hanar, the Drell, the Batarians. There was a lot of material there that could have convinced people to come back and give the DLC a try, and by extension, Andromeda a try. But someone at EA looked at the numbers and decided that it just wasn't worth it. And that's what's most disheartening about this thing, really. Mass Effect is being commoditized. Back in the day, Mass Effect was clearly a passion project. BioWare believed in it and wanted to make it the best they could be, and that dedication to making the game great is visible in all 3 of the original games. There was definitely people there that wanted to excel, and they were not just trying to make a game to make money. They had a passion for what they were doing. Even after EA bought the studio, they continued to pour their heart and soul into Mass Effect, because EA published Mass Effect 2 and then 3. And remember, regardless of what you might think about Mass Effect 3, the extended cut was made on EA's dime. You didn't get charged for that. And then they went on to make the Citadel DLC, which is frankly just a flat-out love letter to the franchise. Unfortunately, it's pretty clear that the people who had that passion for this franchise are gone, and the bean counters are now in control. Mass Effect is no longer a franchise made by artists striving to create something amazing, but by EA, who now views it as just another franchise like Battlefield, FIFA, Madden, COD, or Assassin's Creed. Just another money tree to go out and shake occasionally, and when it's not dropping as much money as they want, shelve. In the end, this leaves me with no real hope for the next Mass Effect game. Because even if it does get made, and make no mistake, it'll get made because money. That's the only reason it'll get made. I have no real hope that you're going to have artists who are trying to create an amazing game so much as EA just pointing at a studio and saying, you, go make us a Mass Effect game. And that's just the entirely wrong way to go about it. So, I want to wrap this up by saying that my own plans for Mass Effect content remain unchanged. I intend to go in depth with the game and break it down through story, gameplay, various decisions that they made, the successes and failures that the game had, and with what Justin Shearer wrote up, perhaps even have a little more context as to why we had those issues and why certain things came out the way they did or didn't. Although, to be perfectly honest, I'm finding the transition from just written reviews and written analysis to making videos a little bit challenging. But still, I'm looking forward to making them, even if this news about the game is rather bit of a gut punch, to be perfectly honest. In the end, I think Mass Effect and especially Andromeda deserve better than this, to just be unceremoniously shelved. I think that they had a lot to offer, and I think we could have kept this franchise going. But at this point, time will tell. All I can say is that Anthem had better be freaking amazing, because Mass Effect died for that game. This has been Bogatir. I'll catch you next time.